Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today is an amazing and huge day. As you can see, I have a box that says TST Industries, but what's inside is actually coming from Poland. And let's get to it. Let me show you what's underneath the box. Again, this is going to be something that I've been waiting for 3 years. And there it is, the Womet Evo Shorty levers, and these are going to be installed on my 2022 Gsxr 1000R. Again, I've been waiting for these levers for 3 years because they've been on back order for a very long time. And I'm so finally happy and glad that I was able to get them. And in today's video, that's what we're going to be doing. So let me go ahead and unbox everything. I did take it out of that box, but I have not even removed them from this box. As you can see, the seal is still, you can see the seal is still closed. So I've been waiting to do this so I could show you guys. Let me go ahead and turn on these lights and let's get to it. All right, so let me go get my trusty blade here and let's go ahead and open it for the first time. I'm so super excited. You guys just don't know. I've been just waiting and waiting and waiting to get these levers. All right, there we are. They're looking so good. I even contacted Poland, believe it or not, because they were such back order that I contacted Poland to see if I could even get them directly shipped from Poland to United States. They told me it'd be super expensive, and I said I don't care. I really want your brand levers on my bike. I'm not going to accept on putting any other particular levers because I just love the styling of it. I like the way they look and everything like that, and I kind of just also wanted a little bit of that Polish flair on my bike. Again, I'm not Polish, I'm actually Mexican, but I do have some other parts of Womet, which is actually Womet, because the W in Poland is actually pronounced as a V. So actually they're Womet, but in America it's W, so we'll say Womet. Alright, so it comes with a little booklet, I guess, on how to install the lever, which is pretty cool, and it's actually detailed pretty well, as you can see. And you can see that it's in English and in Polish. Pretty cool. So there's a few pages here to show you, but obviously I'm going to be showing you how to do it in the video. But in case you never came across my video and you ordered some of these for your other bikes or whatever, they show you, step by step on how to do it. Another cool thing about this is, like I said, these are from Poland. So you're going to see over here in the back that it's going to say, they also have long levers, but I ordered the short levers, the shorties. So over here it says short levers Evos, and then over here in Polish, it also says short lever Evos. So it's just a translation, but it's pretty cool that it's also in the Polish language. Over here you could see their website. It says PL. So if you were to go to this and then type it instead of .com and type PL, it's going to take you straight to their website that's in Poland, and everything will be in Polish. So it's pretty cool to see, other websites in different languages. All right, so touching these for the first time. Honestly, guys, the only thing I really don't like, the minus part, is that it says TST Industries on here. I would prefer, because originally they were just like this, just with the Womet logo on there, but now that TST, I guess, partnered with them, or I don't know what it is, they decided to laser inscribe or something their brand as well. But nothing else I could do about that. That's the way they come. So nothing on this side. They feel very light. It has a nice little texture right here. It's only here. Not sure you could see that in the camera. Let's see if I could zoom in a little bit without my camera having a spaz attack. So you can see kind of those ridge lines. And you could feel it with your finger when you run your finger through it. It only goes up to here. After that, all of this is very smooth. You can see the design right there. And over here, I'm kind of putting my hand in the background so the camera could focus on what's being shown, because if not, it kind of just goes all crazy. There is something over here that says F35. I'm not sure exactly what that means or what that is. And it seems like there's an adjustment screw right there. I think that's probably correlating with this part here where our plunger is going to go into. So I guess you could actually turn it to, I guess, adjust it or align it when we install it. We'll see when we get there. But this is the bottom part of the lever. And you could see right here. You could see it says min and max. I'm guessing the lever when we adjust it. So it's pretty cool. It's actually, you could feel it over. It's indentated into the metal. Get the lever there. All right, and then for the top part, here's the top part. Again, it also says min and max. So that's going to be on when it's min. Let me zoom out a little bit. So when it's min, it goes more closer to the handlebars, and when it's max, it's more further out from the hand grip, as you could see when I was turning it. And it has a very nice click to it, very, you know, nice. It's not like flimsy. Also, speaking of flimsy, I do have eBay levers on my R3, and when you move them like this way, you could feel the clicking. On this one, I feel a little bit, but it's not as sloppy as the ones from the R3, which are the eBay ones. These are very good quality, actually. Feels really nice. Then this part is going to be, that was for the brake side. This one's going to be for the clutch side, and the reason I could tell is because right here is going to be where the clutch cable goes into. It slots in there, and the little barrel goes in there. Alright, same thing. Very nice to the touch. Then there's like some serial number going on right here. Yep. Then obviously that's where like I said, the clutch cable goes in here, slides in here, and it's right there. I believe we're gonna probably have to, when we take out our stock clutch lever, we're gonna probably have to remove the barrel that's inside of that one and stick it in this one. So just note on that. All right, guys. So let's go over to the bike, and we'll start disassembling our levers, our stock ones, and then get these installed. All right, so we are over at the bike, and I just wanted to show you, these are the stock levers that I've been rocking out for the past 3 years. I bought this bike in brand new, still in the crate in 2022 when I bought my house, which we're in right now. And if you notice in the stock lever, this is the brake side, and you can notice there's a hole here. The reason, or behind the reason about the hole, is that air could get through it. Therefore, you know, going really high speeds or whatnot, if there was no hole there, there could be a possibility that the air would push the lever and activate the front brakes, causing you to slow down or possibly having an accident. And there's the reason why that they have a little hole here to allow wind to go through it, and that not happening. But I honestly, I've never encountered anything like that. I don't think even if there was a hole or not, I've never encountered where the front brakes would even, activate themselves. All right, so that's that on this side, and that's the brake side. Now we're going on to the clutch side. So here are the stock levers for the clutch side. And yeah, and really there was really no need or any need to actually change these levers, but I just like the feel of Shorty levers, so therefore it's just personal preference when it comes down to changing out your levers. Also style, obviously they look okay, not the best looking, but they do serve their purpose. And surprisingly, on the stock levers, I actually had adjustment points, so you could actually adjust your stock levers to how close you want it. But unfortunately, it's only on one side. Obviously on the clutch side, there is no adjustment. It's just fixed in place. But we're going to change that, so we'll have adjustments for both sides, so not only the clutch but also on the brake side as well. Okay, so the side that we're going to get to start on first is going to be the clutch side. Now the reason I started the clutch side because it's a little bit more involved in this department. Now if you've never adjusted your clutch cable lever, which that's what this is, then you're going to have a little bit of a tough time getting it back to where it was. And maybe you've never touched it, or maybe you have, who knows. This video is for everybody, if you've done or not. But anyhow, I wanted to kind of show you a trick or a tip, or both, on how to get your placement back to where it was. And for this, you're going to need a marker, any color of your choice. Over here, I have the Tester's black paint marker, and the number for this marker is 2547. The number is right there. I have a link for this marker down below, or you could use any marker for that matter. What we're going to do is we're going to mark a line right on this part, on the silver part, and that's going to help us get back to the same position that we're in now. Now I figure I'm just going to go alongside this part here and mark it here on the top, because that's where we're going to kind of get back to. So about right there. Continue the line over there. So therefore it's right there as well, you could see. And in case we do happen to rub our fingers off over here and, for some reason remove the mark, at least we have the mark here as well. All right, so let's go ahead and start counting how many revolutions until we get this seated all the way in. All right, that's 1, Holy cow, this is like so hard actually. See, maybe I turn the steering a little bit, maybe that'll help. Oh, there we go. So I've obviously had too much tension on the cable itself. Make sure that you pretty much turn it back to kind of get that tension off of there. So pretty much turn your steering all the way to the right, and that'll get the tension off of this cable. All right, so you can see right there. So that was one. I haven't gotten to two yet because I haven't reached that part of the lever yet. So there's one. Okay, then we get to there. Now that's going to be two. Obviously, you can see the marking already gone, but we did it over here as well. All right, so that's 2 revolutions. So I'm going to keep on going, again, holding this thing to kind of ease the clicking. That was 2. That's 3. That's 4. And, you know, so on and so forth. Just keep on counting until you, like I said, bottom this all the way in, all the way through. All right, so I counted almost 8. We're at pretty much around 7 and almost a half, because it hasn't completely reached 8 being over here on this part. So when I go back the other way, I just got to make sure I count almost approximately 8 turns. All right, so now this cable is all the way in, and if I were to turn the steering a little bit, you could see how loose the clutch cable is, and that's what we want. But the tools that you're going to need to do this job is going to be a ratchet with a 10mm socket and then a screwdriver. Now let me show you the very interesting thing about our Gsxr 1000. And if you look at it, you could like pass it up and not even think twice about it. But when you're going to work on it, you're like, what's going on here? So here on the clutch side, you're going to see there's a screw here, right? There's a hole right there in the middle. It looks like it could be a 4mm Allen key that would go in there. But if you take a very close look, it's not even a hole. It's just a circle. You can't even put any Allen key in here. So how the heck, or how in the world would you even remove this? Well, actually, as soon as you remove it, I think there's like a notch in it that kind of keeps that in place from moving around. And I believe that's how it's being stayed. It's being allowed in there without spinning, obviously, when you tighten the screw. So let's go ahead and remove that. What you're going to do is pretty much, I guess, put your thumb on it, or we're just going to go ahead and loosen it from the other end. And that's going to be with our 10mm. I'm going to use a long style socket. Kind of, let me see if I can just get it in there. Pull that up there. And we'll make sure I have it on the loosen department. All right, so let me get the bolt, and it's really located underneath. Once you have it on there, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it. It's my first time actually doing this, so it might be a little bit on the tighter side. All right, so anyhow, as you can see, now that I'm turning, you can see it's kind of moving around. So at this point, just hold it down and then start undoing the bolt underneath. Once you have it enough where you're able to possibly turn it with your hand, I don't think you're going to need a tool anymore. So then just get reach your hand underneath. Nope, it's still kind of in a very tight spot over here. Let me go mobile so I can show you what I'm talking about. So the screw is located right here where my finger is. Kind of really hard to show you. Let me see if I could brighten up the camera a little bit more. All right, so I brightened up the camera a lot more, and here is where the screw is. You can see and how tight it is. So to try to get your fingers to turn it, it's gonna be really hard. So I would say just keep on loosening until the bolt completely comes off with the socket. All right, and once you have it taken out all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out carefully. You can see, here it is. All right, and then here is the 10mm bolt. Go ahead, put that in your pocket or put it in a little Ziploc bag so you don't lose any of the parts. Then from the bottom, you can press it, just press this thing upwards. Once you get it upwards, just pull it out all the way. All right, so as I was thinking, it is slotted on the inside. All right, so you can see there is a little indentational slot right here. It's kind of like a half curve and then a line, half curve and a line. So that's what's preventing this bolt from just spinning like this as you're tightening down the bottom part. And as you can see here, like I was mentioning, there is no hole there to install an Allen key. There we go. So no hole, it's just a little divot, a little indentation. Then when you look over here, you could see that slot that I was just telling you about. You see how it's like a little half, and it's like almost like a rectangle right here. And that's how that piece just kind of sits inside, and it stops it from spinning. So let's see, there we go. Now you can really see it on the screw head right there. So right in there, that little piece corresponds with sitting inside of that piece right over here. And yeah, pretty cool idea. All right, so now that we got that part out, now, oh yeah, I almost forgot one other tool that we're gonna need. Another tool we're gonna need is gonna be some needle nose pliers. All right, so now that we got the groove for the lever out, you also wanna be careful when removing it because there is a button that actually is being pressed when you're activating your clutch. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, move this carefully. And the button, I'll show you the button in a second. Right there, there is this is the button that I'm talking about right there. So you want to make sure that you're careful when removing the lever right here. As you can see that this little wall actually pushes that button in every time. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this, being very careful. You guys do the same. All right, guys, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty on mine just because when I did adjust my levers to be more close to the hand grips over here, because I do have my little button switch there and I want to be too far. So for me, you may not have this problem, but just in case you do, this is how you fix it. To loosen this up, you're going to need a 8mm socket. I'm going to go ahead and just crack it loose a little bit, and this is going to allow me to move this the other way. All right, so now I'm able to move my... There we go. Oh, so yep, that's what it was. So therefore, now that I got that clearance, now the lever is going to come out much more easier, as you can see. At the same time, you got, again, guys, you want to make sure that you're careful with that little switch button. All right, it is out of the way, and there we go. All right, so now that we got the cable out all completely, I'm going to go ahead and turn it the other way, turn it this way, and now you can see the little barrel. Let's get our pliers, and let's just kind of get that barrel out of there, just by holding it and popping it out like this. And now our lever is completely out of the bike, and this is how it looks like. And you can see the little push button is literally right here, so that's why. And it sticks out fairly a good amount, and it's so easy to break. You just snap it down and it'll be gone, and you're gonna have to replace that whole little switch right there. All right, but now that we got this part out, we do need to get this sleeve out of there, so you can actually just poke it through with pliers. And it is oily, so we're gonna go ahead and clean this piece, and I'm gonna put some more, I'm gonna re-lubricate it with some white lithium grease. So I'm gonna just go over to the bench and do that, and let's get this barrel into our new lever. All right, we're over at the bench. Here is our stock lever. We could go ahead and compare if you like. Let's get our clutch lever as well here. All right, this one with the slit. All right, or you could just see obviously the same direction. It's gonna be the clutch lever though. And look at how much more of a difference. You could actually fit this guy right inside the stock lever. But anyhow, if we were to kind of just keep it at the same distance, you could see on how much more shorter our levers are going to be. All right, so here's the collar that we're gonna be installing into our new ones. I'm gonna go ahead and clean these off, and then I'm gonna be using some white lithium grease. See right here, white lithium grease, and I'm just gonna coat the little shaft, you know, when we put it under. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this off. I don't think was any dirt and debris because I've never taken these off. So all right. So now you're gonna do is just gonna put a little bit of lithium grease on here, and we're just gonna coat it. Just put a little bit on here, and then just kind of wipe the rest of it with your finger. You know, kind of just coat the whole entire shaft. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch, you know, just a little bit. All right. Probably put a little bit more on here. Kind of coat it around, spread it around evenly, or as much as you can. All right. Okay, now that we coat it, as you can see, well, if you sort of could see, camera's always having a hard time with the focusing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe my fingers here, and now we're just gonna go ahead and slide the shaft onto the new lever. Okay, let's go ahead and slide it in there. All right. And if anything, you could just also, you know, put a little bit of the white lithium grease on the outside, because when I did remove the old levers over here, there was a little bit of grease on the outside part of the lever, so it'd be a good idea to actually maybe put a little bit there as well, you know, because you want to make sure that the outside and everything, you know, operates really smoothly and there's no real, you know, binding of the, you know, the metal parts. All right, so I'm gonna put over there a little bit there, and I'm also gonna put some here on this side as well. Kind of just, you know, rub my fingers. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit to kind of coat it. All right, so now that this part and there is already coated, now we could actually go ahead and put this onto the bike. So let's go over to the bike right now. Okay, we're over on the bike. Now you can see I have my collar already on there. You want to make sure that it doesn't slip out when you're doing this installation. We're going to go ahead and pull our clutch lever cable, and we're going to install it inside here. So we're going to put the barrel in here, and then we're going to swing it and have the cable over here on this side. So slide in and then over like that. And then other than that, I was going to say is that You want to make sure I have my needle nose pliers pointed right at the little switch button right here. Make sure you're super careful when installing the lever back on. You definitely don't want to, you know, break this anyhow. So just be very careful. If anything, just go ahead and push it in like this as you're installing the lever from the bottom, and then once you get it seated, you can go ahead and let it go. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and have this flipped upside down for now, just to get the clutch cable barrel on there using my needle nose pliers. Gonna go ahead and pull it as far as I can and try to get it seated into that hole. Might be a little tricky, but just try to do the best you can. There we go. Once you get it in there and it's seated in like this, now you could go ahead and flip these the other way. So go ahead and flip it the other way like this while still holding where the barrel is, because you don't want that barrel to fall off. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put my finger down here and I'm going to compress that switch. I'm compressing the switch and I'm going to slide the lever in. Get in there, and I also feel that bottom part of the lever, that little wall, by my finger. So I'm kind of slide this in there. Alright, so now that I feel that the wall's right there, I'm going to go ahead and let go of my finger. And I'm going to be looking. Alright, so let's go mobile so you can see what I'm seeing. So if you guys look, let's see, right there. Right there, I'll show with the crayon. There is the button, and there's the little wall part that I felt with my finger. So as soon as I felt that little wall part, I had let go of the button with my finger, and now that button is hitting the little wall part of the lever. So once you do that, you are good to go. And now next, the only thing we have left to do is to put the bolt and the nut at the bottom and tighten everything down. Alright, so now that I got everything right there. Oh yeah, so before I forget, it'd be a good idea to go ahead and put a little bit of lithium grease onto this shaft. So just a little bit right here on the top, not so much on the threads, but just on the shaft part that's not threaded. Go ahead and put a little bit of white lithium grease, and camera's just always having a very bad time on focusing right here. There we go. So just on the non-threaded part, you want to put a little bit of lithium grease. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. As you can see, I have everything coated now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and line that up right there, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop this inside. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then just seat it. Once it gets seated all the way flush like that, now you can go ahead and get your nut and then screw it in from the bottom. So I'm not really showing you the bottom part, it's just so tight that it'll be really hard to get the camera down there, but you already know how to put the nut back on. So I'm just tightening it up right now, just holding your finger on this top part, because obviously this part's not going to turn at all. You saw how it was, so that's pretty a good design from Suzuki to do something like that. Therefore you don't have to worry about you know stripping that little top part there. Okay, now I'm going to get my 10mm socket and then kind of just hand tighten it for now till I can't get it no more, and then I'll get my ratchet and tighten it up the rest of the way. And already off the bat, it is looking so good. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my ratchet and tighten up the rest of the way. And also, you don't want to go too extreme tightness on the bolt, because if you do that, the lever where this sits on, because the lever is, if this was the lever and here's where we put it on, if you tighten it too hard, your lever is not going to move at all, and it's going to get stuck, even though the cable will retract it back, but it'll be too much friction on the cable, and it could get stuck, and you're not going to be able to control the lever, and you could have an accident. So just tighten it enough where you still have movement. Alrighty, and then for myself, I'm going to go ahead and put my screw back on, and also tighten down my lever as well. Again, you may have not needed to do that because you may not have done my switch department, but also in case you had your lever all the way too close here, now you could actually put it back there now. So go ahead and put it there. I can the dust on this side is showing me where I kind of had it already, and then I'm just going to tighten everything back up. Okay, now that I got that part already all nice and tightened up and pretty much in the level of the direction that I find it most comfortable for myself, we're going to get back to adjusting our clutch tension of where it was. And if you remembered, for myself, again, it's different for me and for you on where you exactly had yours. I counted around 7.5 turns. So I'm going to go ahead now, turn it the other way and count 7.5 turns for myself. And again, I'm going to be pushing this out of the way, so it'll be easier for me to turn this. And at the same time, at this point, you don't want to have the steering turned all the way this way. You want to make sure you have it the other way, because it loosens the tension off of the cable here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it all the way over here and start doing my turns. Alright, I already got it adjusted to those 7.5 turns, almost 8. And it's feeling pretty good, actually really tight. So now you could do the lever much more further out or in. Right now, I believe it's as far as in it's going to get. If I want it to be more further out, I could just push this out here this way. So the more you have it, the more you turn it to the right, the more the lever is going to go out. I think there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 adjustment points that you could adjust to. I think that's 2 further out for me. I'll probably put it back to number 1. I think it'd be perfect for myself. Other than that, just the fuel itself feels really good. Alright, so that's pretty much the clutch side. Now let's get over to the brake side, which is a little bit, it's actually much more easier than it was on the clutch side. But before we get on the brake side, I just want to show you the significant difference on the way it looks from OEM. So here's OEM, obviously, and obviously the clutch side is the one we just did. So OEM, the Womet Tech. Looks so good so far. Can't wait to get the other one already installed, but you could see on the difference, dramatic difference in design and look. It's going to look so good once you get that other lever on there. Alright, for the brake side, we are going to need our screwdriver once we get the nut on the bottom already loosened, the screwdriver on the top to screw it out all the way. Let's get our 10mm socket. We're going to go right here underneath. You can see where my finger is. That's where is the bolt. Going to go ahead and go under there, and we are going to loosen that. Pretty much take it off. Once you get it enough, you probably could turn it with your hand after that. I'll go ahead and take that part off. Now I could just go ahead and remove it with my hand right now. Okay, once you get that off, go ahead and put this in your pocket or the little Ziploc bag. Okay, next we're going to get our screwdriver, and we're going to unscrew it from the top, which is going to be right here. So go ahead and unscrew this. Okay, once you get to this part where it's not going to unscrew anymore, you can just go ahead and grab it and pull it out. Hold the lever while you do that. Okay, once you get this out, you're holding the lever, just go ahead and pull the lever out. Just make sure you're careful because there is a little, just like the other side, there is a little button switch, and you want to make sure that you're careful with that one. So pull it all the way out. Don't just yank it this way because you could yank that little plunger knob off, and here is that little plunger knob. I'll show you that in a second, a much more close up. Alright, so now for the brake side, here is that plunger part that I was talking about, right about there. Here it is. So when you take the lever out, you definitely don't want to just yank it that way, because if you do, look at what happens to the plunger. They actually could snap right off. So there is only one way for this plunger to go. It's in and out. If you go that way, it breaks off. Down, any other way besides in and out, it will break very easily, and you're going to have to replace your whole entire brake master cylinder completely, and that could get very pricey. So just be careful when doing it. When you're doing the lever, just kind of just go that way, in that direction when removing it. Alright, so now that you know about that part, we're going to have to make sure that we're cautious when putting the new lever in its place. Alright, so with the brake lever, here is our stock brake lever. You're going to see that there is a shaft collar in this one, but we don't have to remove that one because on our aftermarket one here, you could see that the hole diameter is a lot smaller, so there is no shaft that needs to be removed from here to there. So that's a good thing. We don't have to do any additional things there. But you are going to see the little hole for where the plunger is going to go into. Let's go ahead and clean this shaft, and let's get some of that white lithium grease onto this shaft as well to get that lubricated. And then we're also going to lubricate the outer part over here and also over here as well. Alright, we are over at the bike now, and again, let's make sure that we're careful with this where the plunger is going to sit in there. So just take your time on this. Also make sure you have your bolt on hand. Let me go ahead and grab that. So once we do get it, we could just put our bolt in its place. So just be mindful on that. And I don't think there is any other button or anything like that on this side, just that plunger piece. Alright, now once you get it in there, you can just go ahead and, like I said, put that bolt in, hold everything in place, and slide that bolt in. Alright, oh yeah, there is a button actually on this end, but nothing you have to be too concerned about because the button is on that side. So once you put the lever, it kind of just closes it. Yeah, that button is on this. It's all hard to show you guys, but you'll see when you see it. Just be careful as well on that side, but like I said, that's that side is not too bad like the other side how it was over there. So just mainly the plunger part is the one concern of what you want to pay attention to when installing this back on. So let's go ahead and grab our screwdriver and screw this in all the way. Alright, once you have that screwed in all the way, it won't go in any further. Then you want to grab your little nut and then screw that in from the bottom. So here's the nut. I'm going to go ahead and grab that and then screw that in from the bottom. There we go. Let's get our 10mm socket. I'm going to go ahead and hand tighten that for now, and then I'll get my ratchet and tighten it in all the way, the rest of the way, which doesn't even take that much force to actually tighten down that nut anyway. Alright, and there you go. There you have it. Let's go mobile so you could see it on all its glory. Now, I'm going to say just a little bit that just having it here, I noticed that it's a little bit further than I would like it to be. I would wish this could be just a little bit closer for my liking, but that's already on its the closest setting I could do. So my hand will have to stretch out just a little bit to get that grip. If I were to turn it even, the lever all the way over here, as you can see every time I turn it, it goes further away. And if I have it that far, I have to really get out, stretch my hands out to really get that my hand over it. So this will be just something I'm gonna have to get used to, but it's not horrible. Like I said, I just wish it was just a little bit more closer for my personal liking. But other than that, the levers look amazing. I love them. I just wish I didn't have to wait 3 years for them. Again, I could have bought any other levers, but honestly, guys, these are the ones that I've been wanting for a long time. As soon as I saw them, originally I was going to get them in red with this part black, and they were offered. Here's a picture of them being in a red color. I think that would have been really cool because I have that on my R3, which is right over here. I have them in the red with that little black adjustment knob, which kind of complements this bike really good because it's red, obviously red on red. So that was kind of an accent that I was thinking about doing with the Gsxr being all black, having red levers and that little black piece. But after waiting so many years, I think that you could only get those particular. Well, actually, you can't even get these in red anymore. I think they may offer them in different colors, but I'm not 100%. But I think for sure you could get the adjustment. This part you could get them in different colors. Here's a picture of them in different colors. But now I think they only offer this lever. The lever is only in a black color. Kind of a shame. I wish they would have still offered them in those different colors. That way you could, personalize them to your bike. What can you do? But other than that, fit and finish, very good on there. Yeah. Oh wow, they actually pull out forward. My eBay ones do that as well. I'll show you that on the eBay ones real quick. Over here, if I can reach over. See? Okay. Alrighty, as you guys could see that the levers came out amazing, and it changes the dynamic of how I ride. On this one, I'm going to probably do a little bit of an adjustment just because for me, I already went for a ride on it, and I just feel like this lever is just a little bit too further out than what I would prefer. It's already on the lowest setting, meaning it's already as close as to the handlebar it's going to get. I just wish it was a little bit maybe about here. You can see how much further out. If it was about here, I think it would feel perfect, but it's a little bit further out. Also, I may, for myself, just maybe tilt this down a little bit because on this one I have it perfect. As you can see, it's a little bit on the downward. That's where my preference is. You do it for how you prefer. It would feel better for you. But other than that, the clutch side feels perfect. This side, again, just a little bit closer would be very good. But I'm just going to have to get adjusted to that. Other than that, they look really good. And especially when I go out for the ride, it definitely tell the difference that now I have how I feel like I have the Shorty levers now. Well, guys, that pretty much concludes the video. And before I let you guys go, let me make an appearance for you guys because I have something really special to say to you guys. For everyone who's watching, I just want to thank the biggest supporter of my YouTube channel. Without you, this would not even be possible. So thank you so much. And to everyone else who has been watching my channel over the years, all of this stuff wouldn't have been possible because thanks to you guys clicking on my links are connected to my Amazon account, and therefore I do get a little kickback from it. So thank you guys for ordering parts from there as well. It doesn't even have to be a motorcycle, it could be anything. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. And don't worry, there's still a lot to come. I just have to find time to actually get all of those videos edited for you guys It just takes a lot of time for me to do that. But I am trying my hardest to get those videos out to you guys, and in a timely fashion. When I do get time, I try to edit as much as possible and start uploading. And if you are a member, you get to watch those videos before everyone else on the platform. And you don't even have to be the highest tier member. You could be one of the lower ones, just to get faster access to watching videos, so that way you don't have to wait. And if there's a video that you see and it's going to be published, a little bit out there, you'll be able to watch it now and not wait. So thank you guys for everything, and thank you to my biggest YouTube supporter. Thank you so much. Alright guys, well that pretty much concludes the video. If you guys enjoyed it, please smash that like button. If you hated this video, smash the dislike button. Let me know down below why you disliked about the video to help me improve, because without you guys giving me comments and suggestions, I would never improve on my channel. So keep them coming. If you guys have any other questions, or if you have any other suggestions and you want to see it on my channel, if I'm able to get to it or have the funds for it, I will get it and do a video about it. Which there is another video coming I'm going to record right after this one. I'm going to get to it right now and post it as a little extra. You guys have been sending me a lot of questions about it. Alright, and if you guys are just watching this video and you want to know what it is, it's going to be pretty much about the clutch cover that I did on my Gsxr here, and it's going to be a clear one. So that video is coming up right after this video. Alright guys, you guys take care. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bells, and that way you guys are up to date with all of my latest uploads, as you'll get a little ding or something, or a notification on your phone, however you get it, to let you know right when I upload a video. And that's all I can think of. Alright, you guys take care. Bye.